Have you watched my Korea travel vlogs and you were like, okay, I wanna visit yung mga places sa pinuntahan ni Real because it looks so nice. So, I also wanna go to Korea. And then you watched my how to get a Korean visa vlog, and now you got that Korean visa and now you can finally go to Korea. You're about to go to Korea, and what do you guys need to know? I will let you guys know everything through my 30 tips on traveling to Korea. Annyeonghaseyo 여러분, I'm Real. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Real, your resident Zori. Nice to meet you. If you haven't joined the fam Real yet, please do click the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. So guys, as I've said, I will be sharing with you guys my 30 tips na I know or I'm very sure you guys need to know before going to Korea. Para naman when you go there, you're gonna have a very smooth, easy, relaxing, and just fun trip in Korea. Okay? So, without further ado, let's begin. Tip number 1. Book a hotel that is near a subway station and an airport limousine stop. I think this is the most important one, kaya we started with this one because it's a big factor, your hotel venue or your hotel location, because if it's far from, you know, the bus stops, the subway stops, and everything, it's gonna be a hassle walking towards your hotel from that stop and also going to the stop from your hotel. Kaya nakakapagod siya. So, it's best that you find a hotel that is very near and also the airport limousine stop, because in Korea, from the Incheon International Airport, there's an airport limousine bus that can bring you from the airport to a specific place or a specific stop that is near your hotel, and also vice versa, from your hotel to the airport going back home to the Philippines. So it's gonna be quite easy if you're near a stop. Okay? Tip number 2. Do research as to what season you're going to Korea and what's the usual temperature in those dates. So if you guys don't know yet, there are actually 4 seasons in Korea. There's summer, spring, fall, and winter. So you have to do research. Sa dates na pupunta ako sa Korea, anong season ba matapat yun? So for example, you're going there during summer and your image of Korea is parang, uy, laging malamig sa Korea. Nakikita ko sa mga k-drama, parang lagi silang mga naka 2 layers, 3 layers, naka padded jackets, and ganyan. So overdressing when you go to Korea, tas summer pala, so medyo mainit, can be much of a hassle, and also sobrang bigat ng sa luggage, so it's very unnecessary to bring that weight going to Korea. So it's best to do some research first, and also if it's summer, just bring your summer clothes, parang yung mga damit mo here sa Philippines, because it's gonna be really humid sa Korea if it's summer. But if you're going there na mga autumn or fall or spring, yeah, it's not that cold. Parang medyo, may mga times na malamig, may times na medyo warm lang ganyan. So, I guess mga 1 or 2 layers of clothing, okay na yon. And for winter, yun ang pinaka-pumatay, guys. Because I went there, actually my first trip to Korea was winter. So, we were wearing like 5 layers of clothing and ang lamig pa rin. Sobrang lamig. So, I suggest you buy yung heat tech sa Uniqlo, if you guys know that, because they have this very thin layer of innerwear sa Uniqlo na they call it parang heat tech. So both for trousers and both for the top. Tapos I bought that. I used that for when I recently went back to Korea in November last year. The temperature was like around 10 degrees, so medyo malamig din, but that heat tech really helped me a lot. Like, I didn't feel cold because of that heat tech. Kaya I suggest you also do some research on what best clothes to bring during the season you'll be going to sa Korea. Tip number 3. Bring hair serum, hand moisturizer, and lotion. So especially if you're going there ng mga malamig na season, winter, or even yung mga cold days ng autumn, I suggest you bring those things because it's gonna be so drying when you go there. Drying sa skin, drying sa hair. And personally, on my recent trip, I actually brought these things with me and my mom didn't bring much. And the difference was, yung kamay ko, I used hand cream a lot during my trip there, during my stay there. Kaya my hand was very smooth pa rin. It's not dry, hindi siya nagbabalat, which is good. But for my mom, she didn't bring a hand cream and she rarely borrows my hand cream. So, hindi siya nakapaglagay masyado sa kamay. So, her hands were very dry. Nag-crack siya to the point na dumudugo-dugo na sobrang dry. So, I really suggest you bring those things with you to have, a very smooth and silky skin. Wow. And also sa hair, because drying din siya sa hair, yung mga malamig na dates, yung winter, especially winter, is very drying sa hair. So, better put a hair serum to make your hair silky smooth. Ganon. Tip number 4, still bring a face mask. So, as of the date of this posting, yung pag-wear ng face mask is not anymore required sa indoors and outdoors. Well, sa indoors, majority lang. So, there might be establishments who will ask for you to wear a face mask inside their establishment. So, I suggest you still bring a face mask. Tip number 5. If it's your first time going to Korea and you're going there alone, I suggest you find a group tour to join. But if you're already a veteran in traveling, I highly suggest creating a DIY tour or your own itinerary. So, there's a lot of pros and cons for this one because if you're going there again ng first time mo and mag-isa ka lang, and yeah, it's really best to join a group tour because first of all, it's very convenient for you because meron kayong kitaan na place, you just have to go there and they have their own ride. Usually, it's a bus, para siyang, tour bus, So, there's a tour bus, it's gonna bring you around to different places, so it's very easy to commute and to really just go to a lot of places in one day. Like talagang they're gonna stack it up in one day. Kaya medyo hectic, but you still get to go to a lot of places in one day. So that's good. And for the DIY tour, if you're going there and you want to travel and tour around all by yourself using your own itinerary, that's also good. That's actually what I've been doing nung we went to Korea. It's my own DIY tour or itinerary. And I really had fun, like planning where to go, the places, and then parang picking what places to go to in one day, yung magkakatabi sa isang area. So, I think it's really fun. I think planning is part of the fun experience in traveling abroad. So, that's a good thing because you hold your own time. Hawak mo yung sarili mong oras sa gawin yung travel ng DIY. So, I think that's a good thing when you travel ng DIY. But, yun nga lang, medyo hassle because, you have to figure out how to go to that place. You have to ride the bus, ride the train. So, and sa train talaga marami din mga change station dyan, which can be quite confusing. But when you get used to it, it's gonna be easy naman when you're there na. But yeah, so medyo complicated lang if DIY. But again, no pressure pag DIY. Sa'yo yung oras mo. So, there's pros and cons sa group tour and sa DIY tour. So, think about it deeply. Ano bang tingin mo mas kaya mo? Can you go alone or with a group ba dapat? So, think about it. Okay? Tip number 6. Rent a portable Wi-Fi once you have landed in Incheon International Airport. Guys, Wi-Fi, you need Wi-Fi when traveling around Korea, around Seoul, because a lot of times, you don't know where you're going talaga. Like, you don't know how to go there. You can't figure it out. And Wi-Fi is your best friend. You have to connect your phone, of course, there. And then find, how to go there. So, it will make your life easy. Because, actually, when we went sa Korea, sobrang hirap because I forgot to get a pocket Wi-Fi when we landed sa airport, sa Incheon Airport. Because, actually, when you just land sa airport, meron doon parang booth wherein they offer yung portable Wi-Fi for rental. And yeah, I forgot that. Tapos, we were traveling nang walang Wi-Fi. I was just basically relying sa map. And it's kind of hard to just rely purely sa map. Because yun nga, may mga specific buses na pupunta sa destination mo, may specific subways lang, may mga rail, so it's a lot to take in. Kaya it's better to have a pocket Wi-Fi with you when traveling around Seoul. Tip number 7. Buy the Korea Rail card at the airport. So yung Korea Rail card, para siyang beep card natin. So you can buy it directly sa airport then, like after renting a pocket Wi-Fi, also get the Korail card. Another term for that is Korail card. You just have to load it up sa mga subway station. I think you can also load sa mga convenience store. So, loadan mo lang siya and then tap lang when you ride the bus, when you ride the train. You can use it both. But you cannot use it sa mga bullet trains. So, yung KTX, no. That's a different one. Just use it for the bus and for the subway trains. Alright? Very helpful because dati kasi we just purchase a card sa subway, click kada sakay namin another card. So, parang hassle siya. Unlike sa Korea Rail card, tap ka lang and you're in and then you're out. So, life is easy. Tip number 8. Only exchange very little amount in the currency exchange at the airport. Yung exchange rate sa airport is very small. I mean, if you want a bigger return, di ba, you want a higher exchange rate. So, sa airport nga kasi, taga sila, sobrang baba lang. So, I highly suggest you just exchange a small amount of money that can just basically take you to your hotel. Tapos after you arrive sa hotel, and then you find a currency exchange store, tapos doon kayo magpapalit. Kasi mas maganda yung exchange rate sa mga places like Myeongdong, basta yung mga commercial areas, doon maganda yung exchange rate. Like, mataas yung kanilang bigay. So, sa airport, tip number 9. Wear comfortable shoes as you'll be walking a lot. So, based from my experience sa twice na nakarating na Korea, walking is like a lot. Sobrang daming lakaran. I think that's the most time na nakapaglakad ako sa buong buhay ko kasi halos sa magkakalapit ng mga tourist spots, so you just tend to walk. And also sa mga subway station, sa mga change station, mahaba-habang lakaran din siya. So at first, to be honest, when we were there, I brought my boots and yung mistake ko is I wore boots pang OOTD. Kaka-OOTD ko nag-boots talaga ako, so I pushed it, pero it was really hard maglakad na naka-boots tapos nagpaltos yung paa ko kasi nga ang daming lakaran. And when I wore my, my rubber shoes, life is so much easier walking. Tip number 10. Everybody there strictly follow the rules, especially for pedestrian. If you're there in Korea, everybody really follow the traffic rules, basta yung mga basic rules of a citizen sa Korea. So, especially sa pedestrian, may mga stoplights there for pedestrian and for the cars. So, please follow the rules. If naka-stop yung sa pedestrian stoplight, do not cross the road. If it's gonna, then that's when you cross the road. Okay, very basic. I think common knowledge siya, pero as compared sa ating country now, we don't really follow the laws a lot. Like, I mean, that sounds so terrible to hear, pero kasi that's the truth. But there, you should really follow the rules, especially sa pedestrian. Tip number 11. Download the Naver app and Subway app. So the Naver app first. Yung Naver app is, I think it's the most useful, most helpful app that you can ever find, that you can ever use sa Korea. So your starting point and then your destination, you just write it down there, tapos search ka lang, and Naver will suggest all of the possible transportation modes and also ano ba yung pinaka-best, like in terms of price, ano yung cheapest, in terms of travel time, ano yung fastest, and then so like there's so many factors na ma-suggest on Naver, so you just get to pick ano yung pinaka-best for you, and then once you click that option, Naver will teach you or will guide you kung paano ba makarating sa yung destination using that route. Okay, or using that transportation mode. So it's very easy with Naver. And also, you get to search there kung saan ba exactly yung pupuntahan mo, saan sa mapa yon. And also, the Subway app naman. So basically, if you know the subway station that you'll be dropping off, you can just search it sa Subway app. Tapos, you'll know na if how many stations left before you drop off. And also, if may mga change stations ba, ganyan. So, it's very knowledgeable yung Subway app. So, I also suggest you download that app. Tip number 12. If you want less walk, ride the bus. But if you want to get to your destination faster, ride the subway. So, I think that's parang common sense lang siya, no? Because bus is of course kinda slower because may mga stoplight, tapos mayroon lang siyang, speed na kailangan i-maintain. Hindi siya yung parang mga bus sa Philippines sobrang bibilis, ganyan, mga dangerous. Hindi siya ganun, like they're very calm drivers. Dapat ganun tayo mga drivers. Very calm lang, no? Kalmara tayo mag-drive. So yun, so it's kind of slow. But then, it's easier because less change ng bus. Like usually, you're gonna drop off directly na sa mismong destination mo. But for the subway, if you want yung pinaka-fastest to go there, I suggest you take the subway. Yun nga lang, medyo hassle pag may mga change station. And also, if yung drop-off station mo is kind of far from your destination, yun lang, may konti nakaran din siya. So, may pros and cons for the both of those modes of transportation. Tip number 13. So, in average, riding the subway costs 1,251, which is around 53 pesos. So, just to give you an idea, ganun yung pricing. So, when you compute your budget before going to Korea, you have to consider then, of course, yung budget for the transportation. And as of November last year, when we were there, yun yung average pricing for each time you're gonna ride the subway. Tip number 14. Prepare to get pushed in the train or bus. So, it's very normal sa Korean culture na matulak ka sa bus and sa subway because they don't really say excuse me when passing through. So, talagang iuusog ko lang nila when they're gonna pass through pag madaming tao. So, prepare to get pushed. Don't get offended pag nangyari sa'yo yun because it's very normal sa Korea. Tip number 15. You can literally ask anyone for help in case you're looking for the bathroom or you're looking for a specific place. I think that's one of the good things sa mga Koreans. They are very helpful sa mga foreigners. So, for example, you ask a stranger, how do I go to Myeongdong? Ganyan. So, if they don't know where that is, they will really put an effort in finding it to help you, to guide you. So, they're gonna bring out their phones, tapos use the Naver app. They also use that application, Naver. Tapos search your destination. Tapos they will show you how to go there using that app. So, you know, they don't just leave you hanging. They also try their best to help you and guide you, which is, I think, is really good, you know, as a traveler na bago lang sa isang place, right? Tip number 16. Use a tote bag. I think ito rin yung one of my biggest learnings when I traveled to Korea is yung specific bag na gagamitin mo. Because it can be a hassle if yung bag na gagamitin mo is medyo hassle buksan, hassle isara. Basta hassle siya is a big factor because as I've said, you're gonna be walking around a lot. So, it's better to use a bag na very convenient lang siya. And for me, the most convenient bag of all is this tote bag. I'll get it. Hold on. This one. If you've watched my Korea travel vlogs, you've seen me using this bag a lot, like all the time sa mga travel vlogs ko because this tote bag, you know, lagay ka na ng lagay ng mga bagay dito, like yung camera, yung stand, yung tripod, everything. And then when you put it there, madali siyang kunin din. So it's easy. Because I remember my mom, she wore a backpack sa trip namin, like walking around. Sobrang hassle because if you wanna get some things from your backpack, kailangan mo siyang tanggalin pa, ibaba sa floor or lagay sa harapan mo, buksan yung zipper, kunin ng gamit, isara, ibalik sa likod mo, suotin ng backpack, ganyan. Tapos when you also have to put it back naman, tanggal ulit ng backpack, lagay doon, ganun. So, ang haba ng proseso just to, you know, put and get something from your bag. Unlike from the tote bag, tapon, kuha, tapos. It's very easy. It's very easy. Very convenient talaga yung itong tote bag. So, I suggest you use a tote bag while traveling around Seoul or even maybe sa ibang countries, no? For convenience talaga siya. And if medyo magulo, then just get yourself an organizer inside para talaga di magulo inside the bag. Especially if you're gonna buy some things tapos lagay-lagay ka lang dyan, edi lagay-lagay ka lang, diba? Very easy. Tip number 17. Always bring your passport with you as there are stores that offer tax refund for foreigners. So, there's actually like a privilege for foreigners sa Korea na they give tax refunds or may mga tax-free stores. So, if you find like there's a sign sa cashier na tax refund, ganyan-ganyan. So, it's either you immediately get the tax refund on the spot when you buy that item or you have to gather that receipt, keep that receipt, and then once you're going back to our country na, you're in the airport, find a tax refund counter. Tapos you can also get your refund there. Tip number 18. Bring credit cards. Guys, ito yung medyo kakaibang experience sa Korea because May mga several stores na completely cashless. So, kung wala kang credit card, di ka makakabili sa kanila because they don't really accept cash at all. So, it's best to bring a credit card with you just for the sake na baka may mga cashless stores ka mapuntahan and you want to buy something from that store. Tip number 19. Use credit cards if it's the only option. So again, for the credit cards, yan ay only option mo lang for emergency purposes talaga siya. Because yung credit card, meron siyang exchange rate interest. Anyway, I think there's a specific term for that. I'm not sure what the term is or what they call that sa mga bangko. Pero once you receive the bill, usually, mas mataas siya kaysa sa computation mo when you were shopping in Korea. Because, yun nga, may interest yung sa exchange rate. Kaya, it's best to just use cash talaga at all times, okay? Yung credit card, pag cashless lang talaga yung pupuntahan mo, that's when you use your credit card. Pero, for the others naman na option yung cash, then just pay by cash. Tip number 20. Keep all of the receipts na may tax refund and refund it at Incheon Airport. So actually, I mentioned this before already, na if you were able to get tax refunds sa mga pinag-shoppingan mo mga stores, by the way pala ha, not all stores offer that. Like, selected lang siya, okay? Like, one is Olive Young, yung skincare store, they offer tax refund, so that is one. So, not everything ha, baka mag-assume ka, oy, lahat, tax refund please, ganyan. No, not everything. Usually, there is just like a sign sa counter na nakalagay yung tax refund option siya. So, yun nga, when you arrive sa Incheon Airport, meron nga dun tax refund counter. Tapos, you have to just fill up something sa screen. Tapos, i-scan yung passport mo. Tapos, i-scan yung parang barcode ng mga resibo. And then, once you're done scanning, you may not proceed to the real counter kung saan you can get the money, the tax refund na, immediately. Okay. Tip number 21. If you love skincare, save up because Seoul is definitely the skincare capital of the world, in my opinion. So the biggest skincare store all over Seoul is Olive Young. Definitely. If you're a fan of Korean skincare, I think you know that place. So if also a skincare enthusiast like me, it's better to save up tapos doon ka mag-shopping ng mga skincare mo because it's definitely a bit cheaper there, yung mga skincare products na you usually buy here sa Philippines because you're directly buying from Korea. And also, ang dami, it's overwhelming. So I'm sure once you see everything, talaga may time kang bumili ng something na skincare related talaga. Tip number 22. If you're planning to visit palaces, rent a handbook and wear that first before entering the palace. Why? Because they usually offer free entrance sa mga naka-handbook sa mga palace. So, that's quite a big saving because usually, ang entrance fee ng mga 3,000 won, which is mga 150 pesos, ganyan, 200 pesos. So, you know, it's still a saving if you're just wearing a handbook, pasok ka sa palace, nasa in-theme ka pa, diba, ng palace kasi naka-handbook ka sa loob ng palace. So, I think it's a good full circle moment para sa mga naka-handbook entering the palace. Tip number 23. Budget your food as food in Korea is so expensive. Yes, like no joke guys, sobrang mahal ng pagkain sa Korea. Like in average based from my experience, yung meal na masarap, na mabubusog ka talaga is usually around 600 to 700 pesos per meal. So imagine if you're eating 3 meals a day, so that's like 2K, around 2K per day for one person lang yun. So it's really expensive. You can also find other places, other restaurants na mas mura, pero usually, ito yung mga presyo ng mga restaurants sa labas ng hotels or sa mga malls, basta yung mga usual ng mga establishments na exposed talaga sa mga people, that's their usual pricing. And also, if you're planning to eat chicken, like yung Korean fried chicken, nasa around 20,000 won to 30,000 won siya. So that's like around mga 1K to 1.5 pesos. Pero usually it's already good for sharing naman. So I think that's good already. Yeah. Tip number 24. If you don't know how to use chopsticks, practice now. I think common sense lang din siya, no? Because, you know, just like China, Japan, Korea is also very chopstick-centric when it comes to eating. So if you don't know how to use chopsticks, you're gonna struggle talaga if you're there. Pero maybe you can just bring your own spoon and fork if sanay ka talaga mag-spoon and fork. Tapos, just use it while eating. Pero if not, then just practice using chopsticks. And also, it's like, living the culture, experiencing the culture firsthand, yung mag-use ng chopsticks while eating. So, better learn it now. Tip number 25. Yelling in the restaurant to get the server's attention is normal. So, I think dito medyo parang bastos or walang class, diba? If sumigaw ka sa restaurant, parang, waiter, dito nga! Diba parang medyo pangit pakinggan. Pero sa Korea, it's quite normal when you're calling for ajushi or ajuma. Yeah. Tapos you just say, Jogyo! Yogiso! Ganun, diba? So, Jogyo is like, excuse me. You're calling that person pero malayuan siya. So, if you're calling someone Jogyo just to get their attention, is very normal. Pero also, one thing that I've noticed, a lot of restaurants also have yung service button on the table. So, meron dyang parang red button na you just click tapos it will call a server to go to your table. So, meron mga ganun ding restaurants. So before calling a server, check first kung meron bang ganung button sa table mo. If wala, then, Jogyo! Yogiso! Ganon. Okay? Tip number 26. If you are not a fan of spicy food, brace yourself and your taste buds. So if you love Korean food, you already know. I mean, most of the Korean food or dishes are spicy or medyo spicy. So, if you're not into spicy food, you're gonna struggle a bit. But also, may naman mga several dishes na hindi spicy. So, perhaps just pick the restaurant na hindi nag-offer ng mga spicy food masyado. Okay? But before ordering, perhaps confirm first with the waiter or with the server kung spicy ba siya or no. Okay, better to ask first. Tip number 27. One order of Korean chicken is usually good for 2 to 3 persons. So if you are alone, be prepared na mag-take out kasi for sure, hindi mo siya mauubos unless talaga malakas ka kumain na. Pero kasi ako, siguro kaya ko lang yung mga half ng isang order ng Korean fried chicken because it's really a lot. Kaya sabi ko sa mom ko, hindi ko ma-imagine if I'm just alone here eating fried chicken. Talagang for sure gonna bring something home. Tapos perhaps can, eat that the following day during the morning as your breakfast. So, another wise tip, diba, from that. Meron kang breakfast from your dinner. Tip number 28. If you're allergic to cigarettes, try to evade small alleyways as much as possible. So, yun din yung mga isa sa napansin ko sa mga Koreano. Marami sa kanila yung mga chain smokers talaga. Especially at night, if you pass by an alleyway, ang dami dyan mga nakatambay sa gilid na nagyosi. So, ako kasi, I'm very allergic to smoke. The smell of cigarette, it really makes me dizzy. So, if you're also allergic to cigarettes, I suggest na umiwas ka sa mga ganung places, yung mga alleyways, yung mga eskinita, yung mga ganyan, no? Because yun usually yung mga tambayan ng mga Koreano nagyosi talaga. Tip number 29. Korea is a very safe country. So sa Korea, if you're wondering, safe kaya na, magdala ng mga mamahaling bagay, walking around Seoul, or perhaps you have to think about kung meron bang mag-i-snatch ng bag ko or something like that. Guys, very low criminal rate ng Korea. Like, it's so safe. Ako, itong tote bag ko, usually nakabukas pa nga yan ganyan Wala namang ibang kamay na pumapasok here para kumuha ng gamit ko. So, I never experienced something like that. So, it's very safe. You can bring out your phones, like traveling around if you want to vlog yourself, take pictures or selfies or videos. It's very safe, to bring out all of your things into the world. And my last and final tip number 30. Not a lot of Koreans can understand English. So I highly suggest you learn the basic Korean words, at least, or even phrases or sentences. Kaya at dahil dyan, sa ating next video, you get to learn the most essential, the important Korean words that you need to know before going to Korea. So, abangan nyo yun, guys. It's gonna be really educational and helpful sa inyo, especially when you're talking to strangers, you're asking for something, you need those words na ituturo ko sa ating next video. Okay, on that note, that ends our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do click the subscribe button down below and also hit the notification bell for all of my videos to get notified when there's a new video. And also give this video a like, diba? I think you also like this video. It's very helpful, right? And also, please leave a comment kung nakahelp ba ako sa inyong travel sa Korea, and also what do you guys want to see in my future videos. I always reply sa comment section below my YouTube videos. Okay, I'll see you there. So again, that's it. Bye everyone. Annyeonghaseyo. See you in my next video.